Now, a Hutch's weather update with Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson, brought to you by Robert Gibb and Sons.
And happy Wednesday. I hope your day has been wonderful. A beautiful day out there. Pedro got a walk, and well, I felt some sunshine out there. It was just nice. And as we head into the rest of the week, the temperatures will continue to build. Hey, a word from my sponsors at Robert Gibb and Sons. First of all, thanks to you for watching, and thanks to them for their awesome support. And I have a message from them. If you have been thinking about upgrading your furnace and air conditioning system, now is the time to do it. They have extended their free water heater deal through April. So make sure that you call them today. Tell them Hutch sent you, and they'll not only upgrade you to a new Bryant system, they're a premier Bryant dealer, but you'll get that water heater to boot. Remember, any water heater older than 10 years old needs to be replaced for efficiency as well as peace of mind. So give them a call. Let's talk weather first and foremost. Appreciate you signing in and let me know where you're watching from. It's great to have you here. Hi, Katie. Good to see you. And thanks so much for checking out the show here. I've been very good. I hope you're good as well. And as we take a travel and a look at our weather, we're going to do a couple things. We're going to talk about the warm up in store. The wind is going to be a problem. That's going to increase our fire danger. We'll look at that extended forecast. There's a chance of rain. I'll time that out for you. It's looking to be a little more significant. And then we're going to take a look at something right off the bat. And we're going to start with something that we haven't looked at in a little while. And it's been a fair piece. And that's the drought monitor. So let's go to that right now as I pull this up on your screen. The big wet storm system that brought the heavy amounts of snow to parts of central Minnesota did do a little bit of good with regard to our drought conditions. Check this out. This is a slider, and I'll adjust the screen here so you can see more of the map. And I want you to focus on Iowa and Minnesota. And this tan color you see here is increasing drought, called the Drought Severity Index, and the tan area is moderate drought. The orange area is severe drought, and Iowa stuck in extreme drought across much of the state. Now, that weather-making wintry system that moved from the Southern Valley into southern Minnesota, dumping upwards of, yeah, that's right, over 2 feet of snow. Check this out. This is what it looked like a week ago. And then after that storm, after the data was calculated, we've erased a huge area of that moderate drought, and that has been relieved to now just dry conditions. Now, we still have central Minnesota, all the way from Itasca and the Red Lakes area through the northern Red River Valley that still are struggling with some moderate drought or even some more persistent drought that's taking place. But there was even a little reduction in the area of red in Iowa from that very wet system. Now, our forecast doesn't look to be very wet at all over the next few days. So we'll likely see very little change to this as the drought index gets updated as we go into the day tomorrow. It will likely stay the same for us. But that's just a little piece of the puzzle for you. And I'll show you where our next bout of rain is likely to be falling. All right, let's go ahead and talk about it. Hi from Newfold and Melissa. Good to see you here. And let's go ahead and find a spot for this comment. Let's get rid of that one. Trying to keep things clean and family friendly for all of you. And thanks again for checking it out. Now, let's look at our forecast. Let's take a look at temperature. Temperature's been awesome. And here's a look at the temperature forecast on a computer generated model as we go through the night tonight and day tomorrow. Now, let me go ahead and rewind this back into today. And we did see some beautifully warm temperatures today out west in Montana. And notice us here in the valley starting to warm up, but colder weather in Minnesota, thanks to those north winds. You're a little bit colder to that exiting storm system off to the east. Now, as we go through the nighttime hours tonight and into your morning, we'll be coolest in Minnesota, and where you see the pinks, we'll have some low temperatures approaching that 30, maybe some mid-20s out there, but it stays a little milder out to the west. And then here we go. Notice more of those yellows spreading into western Minnesota as we go into the afternoon hours. So that warmth out in Montana spreads our way. They were near 80 degrees in some of those places They will stay warmer than we will be, but it does look like a nice trend. So here's what we can keep in mind. Number one, we're going to talk about temperatures tonight that will be in the 40s by morning out to the west in Montana. Low 30s for Minot, low 30s for Bismarck. And as we get into the James River Valley, the Devil's Lake Basin, we start to see a few more 20s in store. North wind 5 to 15 miles per hour for most of us. We'll still see a few clouds drifting in those north winds. The wind will be a little more persistent in Minnesota since you're closer to that exiting low pressure system. And temperatures to start your day on Thursday will be, well, pretty fortunate. 25 to 30 degrees. Now, here is a look at your afternoon temperatures, and look at all the red in Montana, and there's some 80s picking up out there as well. So let's take a look at that now as we zoom in to parts of eastern Montana. 83 degrees as we go between Glendive and Billings. A 74-degree day in the Sydney area. How about Williston? 70 in the oil patch. 60s for Minot and for Bismarck are likely tomorrow. And we may even see that in good old Harvey Wells County, as well as it's Jamestown. We'll be very close to it in that area as well. Not far from it here in the Fargo-Moorhead area as we see our temperatures soar as well. In fact, I think we have a good shot at seeing those upper 50s for tomorrow, even in the Lakes country as well. Now, Minnesota is still cooler thanks to that north flow, 46 Bemidji, about the same as we get up into that Badette area. But look at War Road. A little bit cooler there, closer to 40 to 44 degrees for you as we will go through the day with north winds. The Arrowhead of Minnesota in the 30s and mid 40s. Bonnie, thank you so very much. And Julia, hope Friday isn't windy. Flying back home. Well, you know what? It looks like Friday we'll start to see a switcheroo. And this is something I want to point out. Tomorrow we'll have changing winds across the area. So I'll move my arrow and you can see I forecast northeast winds to south 5 to 15 miles per hour. We'll have north winds for most of the day across parts of central Minnesota and points east, but we're going to see a little bit of a wind shift and a decrease in wind. Thursday into Friday morning might be the best day as far as conditions go because we'll have near 60-degree weather with light winds here in eastern North Dakota. It'll be a little breezy from the north in Minnesota. The wind out west will be picking up in Montana as we go through the day tomorrow. So keep that in mind. Now, the wind out west tomorrow will be southerly as well. And now a look at your planning forecast. Here's what you need to know. 57 in Fargo. Hello, spring again indeed, and a beautiful day with light wind for the most part in Fargo. Now, as we get into Friday, it gets gusty. And we're talking about winds that will be upwards of 30 miles per hour at times here in the valley. And it gets even worse as we get into Saturday with 40 or more mile per hour gusts. Tender, a dry vegetation on the ground. Low humidity, gusty winds, not a good recipe for burning. So there could be an enhanced fire risk across the area with those gusty winds here in the region. Now on Sunday, we'll see an increase in clouds. There'll be a rain chance to the south. Temperatures will suffer a little setback Sunday and into Monday with these rain showers moving in, but our neighbors to the north, you could stay even warmer as we go into the weekend and early next week. Sherry, thank you for your stars. Rita, good to see you. Bonnie, thanks for sharing. That's beautiful for those of you who tag friends in these messages to let them know Hutch is still doing weather right here remotely. Isn't it kind of fun? You can watch it anywhere. All right, 82 is our average high. We're not going to be, or record high rather. We're not going to be setting records here, but we're going to be returning to some very fun spring-like weather. After a little dip in the ointment here on Tuesday, we're right back in business in the 60s with fun and sun as we go toward the 10th of the month. All right, now a couple of things that are coming up around the area here as we go through the 8th. Right? That is the big eclipse. Now, we won't see the total eclipse here, but I've heard from you. Some of you are traveling, still looking a little on the cloudy side as we go through. So if anybody has questions, we'll go ahead and go over some of those. Here is a look, though, at our current temperatures to get you caught up on those. 32 in Jamestown, cooling quickly there. And we have 38 in Devil's Lake. 39 for you in that Harvey area right now, with Carrington at 41. Out to the east, we have Bemidji at 37. So those north winds you can see trucking in to most of our eastern counties at around 10 to 15 miles per hour. Park Rapids 40, Wadena 37, Fergus Falls 41, Wahpeton 43 degrees, Sisseton, you're in those mid 40s, 30s rather. It's 34 there. thanks to the fact that there's a little snow left on them there hills. Thank you for the compliment on the shirt. I'm going to play some checkers here after this and have a little bit of fun. All right, look at the wind shift as we go out to the west. See these little blue things here? These are wind barbs, and the dot is the city center, and the wind is pointed toward that. It's coming from the north. Coming from the north. Over here, it's coming from the northeast as we go out towards the Devil's Lake Basin. And look at Max, look at Minot. That wind is shifting to a southerly direction there. So that's what we have going on right now. And I don't see a lot of questions. It was a beautiful day today. We had a lot of snow melt across the area. I'll take a look at this forecast for you once again. For those of you interested in checking out the big eclipse, here's what we know. And I'll point out a couple of things for you. Thing number one, that big eclipse is really not going to be in totality here, but let's go ahead and take a look at this. This is my friends at NASA have put together this graphic, and this is a explainer that says on the 8th what time the totality will be and where. Here's the track of totality from parts of southern and western Texas right through the Boot Hill of Missouri. The time frame here, Central Time, is right at midday. So between about 12:30 and around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it goes through the Boot Hill of Missouri. And then it continues on northward into southern Illinois and also into Indiana as we go into the 3 o'clock hour. That's Eastern Time, so 2:10 here. And then off into the 3:20 to 3:30 time frame as it makes its way to northern portions of Vermont, New Hampshire, also New York. Now, what about how much of the eclipse will we see here in the valley? If we follow these lines down, I'm following them diagonally down. They have a label down at the bottom here that shows us that we will generally be at about 60% to 65% coverage of the old sun there. So still need the glasses. You still need to play it safe. You don't want to look at that and get that damage to your eyeball out there. But the totality will be along the path that you've been seeing about. Now let's go back to that modeled forecast for you. We're going to look at that European model real quickly. For those of you interested, I'll take a look at what we're looking at as we go into the 8th. That's the big eclipse. Here we go. Here's the 8th. Let's see if I put that up there. Okay, so this is in the morning at 6 a.m. We see a big low pressure system over us, which means cloudy skies. So the chances of us seeing much here, if this is indeed what happens, will be quite low. Now, there will be a batch of clouds that will extend away from this. There may be some breaks, and there does look to be a fair amount of cloudiness from portions of Arkansas and Louisiana into parts of Texas as well. Now, as I set this into motion, we'll be able to take a look at where the system will produce a chance for some strong thunderstorms into parts of Oklahoma, Texas, and Arkansas as we go through the evening hours. So there's going to be some clouds developing there. Where might be the best chance to see it? Let's look at the cloud forecast. This particular model doesn't really have that, but what I can do, like I did yesterday, is show you where there's moisture in the atmosphere at these times. So we're going to look at Monday, the 8th, and the brown colors are dry air, where the chance of clouds is lower, and the green areas and blue areas are moist air, and that's where there's a better chance that the atmosphere could be making some clouds. This is going to be your Monday morning. Notice, whoopsie, it jumped on time here. Monday morning, right here. Okay, so we have this dry air in parts of Texas. So I do think West Texas might bring some of the best viewing with clearer skies there. There'll be some developing thunderstorm potential as this model was showing in Louisiana and Arkansas, but there may be some clearing going on as it takes place. See how this green appears? The time frame here is evening though. This is the drive time, so the eclipse is over by that time. So I do think there'll be a fair chance at seeing it in the midday hour as you're looking right here in parts of Central and West Texas on this particular model. There's also some drier air through the area of the total eclipse path, but it quickly gets covered up with some cloud potential. Now, some of the other models that we can pull up here that show a little bit better a product for clouds. Let's look at the good old Canadians cloud product here. And this is kind of a fun way to look at where the clouds might be with regards to this system as we go through. And again, any one of these models is going to be pretty close, but I just want to point out that they're all just a little bit different. And here we go. There's that West Texas area on this particular model as we looked at yesterday. This is noon. rain when things are getting started in West Texas and heading through Oklahoma. It won't be long in the afternoon before the chance of thunderstorms increases through that area, though. And notice as it goes through the boot heel of Missouri as we head into the afternoon hours, there may be, this is noon, here's afternoon, there may be some clearing there, and maybe, just maybe, we'll be lucky as well in portions of southern Illinois and Indiana. As we head toward the evening hours, though, there will be a fair amount of, or decent chance of some cloud cover in the northeast and drifting in that general direction. So we're saying that these last couple models are showing that there may be a chance at seeing those, the beauty of the total eclipse as we go through the day on Monday. This model, little different. This says a lot of cloud cover potential on the American model in all of Texas, clear through the boot heel of Missouri this is in the morning, here's noon. So this is keeping Texas cloudy all day, the boot heel of Missouri looking better, and then quite a bit of clouds through the northeastern United States, but realistically, not through Maine and northern parts of the area. So what does that mean? Hutch's consensus is this. It looks like there's one model, the American model, that says Texas is a no-go. And there's a few models that show at least a chance in parts of Missouri. There could be some strong thunderstorms there as well. So worth paying attention to. If you're going to drive somewhere and you're going to head out to see it, where might be the best chance? Likely in those central and southern plains states. I think that system moving through our area will possibly be throwing quite a bit of shade in the form of clouds into portions of the Great Lakes area, and that could inhibit that indeed. Paula, thank you so very much for your sharing of stars. Tammy says the sun is going on a road trip to Indianapolis for it. So that's really cool. Indianapolis, will you see it? What do you think? We just took a look at that. It's going to be close. And there was a couple models that showed a brief break in the cloud cover there. We'll keep our eyes on it for you because there might be nothing more frustrating than traveling that far to see it and then getting shut down by clouds. I have heard from some people that they want to be in a location where they can go one way or the other to try to be in a spot where they can get to where there might be a good opportunity to see that totality. All right, that's a look at your forecast. I'll put up that 7-day planner one more time so you have an ability to take a sneak peek at that as we wrap up here on Hutch's Weather. Thank you so very much. Paula, thank you for sharing this with your friends. Hopefully they get a chance to watch it. If you want to tell them a little bit about what they're going to see, it's an update on the cloud forecast for the eclipse. I hope you all are having a good one. Remember, I think Hutch's pick day will be Thursday and into Friday morning. Then that wind starts picking up late Friday and it gets very gusty from the south across the area as we enjoy warmer temperatures. It's going to be a windy kind of warm. Then a chance of rain. Why don't I go over that real quick for you too? Why not, huh? Let's take a look at that chance of rain. We'll put up the, let's go with this model here. You know what, let's do it right here. Okay, so timing out this rain that we've been talking about for the weekend ahead. Well, let's go ahead and put this global model up here and let's hop up on the, okay, this is temperature. We'll go ahead and switch it over to the composite reflectivity so we can see where the rain will be. And there is a chance, some of the models are showing some mixed precipitation in here, so I might put in a precipitation type as well. Here we go. All right, so as this loads up, what you're going to see as we go into the weekend here, across the southern counties here, we get this little dash as we go in to, well, let's go to this weekend. There it is. There's the system. Okay. Look at South Dakota. That's quite a bit of snow there. This has changed from the last model run. Okay, so here we are. This system moves out of the Rockies. The Rockies getting quite a bit of snow and elevated terrain. This is on Saturday the 6th. Rain spreading into South Dakota. And we get a chance at rain in our southern counties. Gray, light, not too significant, but we'll take it. Some heavier moisture, southern Minnesota. And now this American model says things cool off as we go through the time period, and this is into the 7th, and the 7th is Sunday, and it has some snow mixing in with it. I'm not certain I buy this yet. I'll show you more in the morning on this, and this has some heavy bands of snow spreading through South Dakota as we go through the 8th. That's on Monday, and that is the eclipse day. So this is broadening the impacts of the clouds and the showers all the way out close to Indiana. So keep that in mind. At any rate, there's our chance of showers as we go through Sunday and Monday, and that system kind of meanders around and pauses itself right here in southern Minnesota with some more beneficial rain showers. Hi, Clarine. So that's a look at our rain showers that are included on your extended forecast. I have all rain here, and notice the low temperatures I have are in the 40s. That's why I'm not certain I'm buying this. It's the first I've seen snow in our area. I'm going to keep it rain for now. South Dakota looks like things could be cooling off for you, maybe a chance for some flakes in parts of South Dakota as we go into Monday. Oofta. All right, that's a look at your weather. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. It's wonderful having you on board. Thanks for your comments, your support, your shares, and passing the good word that Hutch is here, keeping his eyes on the sky.